We have another championship case today. It's going to be about Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick entered the season without a single Cup Series victory. He now has two. First one came at Road America in July, and then later that month he won again in another road course, the Indianapolis Road Course. He's had a lot of speed this year at different types of tracks. Yes, only the wins are at road courses, but they have shown speed throughout the season. You look early, very early on at Fontana. Reddick probably had the best car, led a ton of laps. He won at least one of the stages, and then he had a flat tire and got crashed out trying to get to pit road or whatever that situation was with Byron. He's had speed, as I said, all season long. You look at Kansas, he was on the front row, led some laps prior to some mechanical problems. He has had top 10 speed at some of the intermediate tracks. So, yeah, he's had speed throughout the season. So he's looking for his first championship, RCR's first championship in a while. Obviously, that's a little bit awkward, of course. The RCR Tyler Reddick kind of year and now a quarter of awkwardness because Reddick will be leaving the team at the end of 2023. But, yes, Tyler Reddick, he's still going for a championship this year. This year, his stats are this. Obviously, the 2 wins, 8 top 5s, 11 top 10s, and he also has 2 stage wins. He has led 331 laps. So, yes, as I said, Reddick's had a great year. People expected him to win eventually. It was bound to happen. He's had a lot of good runs in his career. He's a young, talented driver. People knew it was just a matter of time before Tyler Reddick broke through and got to victory lane. Of course, on top of that, his teammate is in the playoffs as well. Austin Dillon, just yesterday actually, got himself a win to get into the playoffs. So both RCR cars in the playoffs. Now, Reddick's championship case, I think, is actually an underrated one. I think him and Bell could be 2 guys who surprise us. Just looking at the schedule, how they've done this year, I think Reddick and Bell are the 2 guys that could surprise us, make it to the championship 4 or something. So let's look at the schedule. This first round, Reddick, he currently has 12 playoff points. As I say with everyone else, get playoff points however you can, win, stage wins, whatever you have to do. In this first round, I think he has a great opportunity. This first race, Darlington. Darlington's a track that suits Tyler Reddick's style. He's done really good at Darlington before. He finished runner-up in the spring to Joey Logano, so he has had good runs at Darlington before. Obviously, Reddick is known for running right on the wall at tracks like Darlington, Homestead, Kansas, tracks where you can run up top, and he showed that in the spring at Darlington where he finished runner-up. Second race is at Kansas, as I just said, a track where he can run the top, kind of get right on the wall, get as much speed out of the car as possible, and he was having a really good run in the spring before those problems that I just talked about happened. So those first 2 tracks, I think he should do enough. And then Bristol, it wasn't the pavement, so I can't use Bristol dirt as an example, but, Bristol, I think he should be fine. So the first round, I'm honestly not concerned about, and you look at some of the guys lower in the field, even though he doesn't have that point buffer, I think that he should be fine because I think he'll outperform at least 4 guys, and I think he could potentially win Darlington or Kansas. So look out for those 2 races. I think Reddick could potentially be a contender. As for the second round, this is another decent round for Reddick. The first round is at Texas. He is a runner-up at Texas in his career back in 2020. In the spring race, the All-Star race, it was the All-Star race, which is hard to base the results off of. And he was in the Open because he had not yet qualified for the All-Star race via a win or an All-Star win. So he wrecked out in the All-Star Open. So it's hard to judge how he did in the next-gen car. He was top 3 in the Open most of the race, but he wrecked out in that final stage. So not really getting a chance to show his speed against the top cars. So that's a question mark. I really don't know. Texas is such a unique track now, and it's such an unknown. I'd expect the Toyotas to be really good there. I would expect even the Fords to be really good there. You look at Blaney, the winner, Cindric, Logano were all up there. But the other 2 races, I think, especially the Rove, will fall in Reddick's favor. Reddick's not an exceptional super speedway racer, but he's not a bad super speedway racer. Heck, he survived that 30-car crash yesterday at Daytona, and he finished second. So he's survived some super speedway races, and that may be what it comes down to. He may just have to survive, hope that other guys get crashed out. A couple years ago, I think only 1 or 2 playoff guys finished the race, and One of them won, which was Denny Hamlin. The other one was Chase Elliott, and Elliott entered the day like 10 points above the cutoff, and because everyone crashed out, he was like 50 points above the cutoff. So sometimes surviving, even if you finish 11th or 12th, that's all you got to do because everyone else is finishing in the 20s and 30s. So if Reddick can just survive that and then just do what he's been doing on the road courses at the Roval, I think he gets through. Texas is a question mark. I think he can run top 10 there, which may be good enough. But yeah, it's going to be difficult for sure for, I think, everyone, but it could be for Reddick just because we don't know how he's going to do there. So yeah, I think he should get out of that round. And going into the round of 8, I like one track in this round for him. Vegas, he ran top 10 in the spring. He spun out. He had some problems, but I think he ended up in the top 10. But the next track is where I think he could get it done. Homestead Miami Speedway has been one of his best tracks. I think he has 2 top 5s there and a runner-up last year to William Byron. That track suits Tyler Reddick's style. He's won 2 Xfinity championships there as well. So that is his racetrack. That is one of his best racetracks, honestly. It just is. Statistically, eyeball test, whatever you want to call it, that is his best racetrack, and that is going to be his best shot to make the championship 4. He has been really good there. He's led laps. He's been up front even when RCR wasn't as competitive as they have been this year. RCR's been much better this year than they have been in years past. I think that's going to play a huge advantage to him. You know, if this was last year, 2 years ago, I don't think I can make that big of a case for Reddick making it this far or even competing for a win at Homestead, even though he's one of the best drivers there just because RCR didn't have the equipment. This year, RCR has proven they've had the equipment. They've had competitive speed at different types of tracks. They've won a couple of races this year. So I think it's very possible that Reddick could be one of the top cars at Homestead. Him, Kyle Larson, they could be the two duking it out for a spot. And I think Reddick very well could win that race. So look out for him at Homestead Miami Speedway. I think he's probably going to be one of the favorites to win that race if he makes it this. I mean, even if he's not in the playoffs, he could be. But yeah, Reddick, I think, is going to have a great opportunity to win at Homestead Miami, and he won't even have to worry about Martinsville. If he does have to worry about Martinsville, I'm a little bit concerned. He finished 18th in the spring. His teammate finished 3rd, Austin Dillon, so that's a promising sign, but, you know, it's not his best racetrack. But with this championship case video, we're making a case that he's going to win the championship and how he's going to do it. I think the way he does it, makes it to the championship 4, I think he wins at Homestead Miami Speedway. I'm not saying it's a must win. He could very well run top 5 at Vegas and Homestead, and maybe he gets a win at Darlington, maybe he wins at Kansas, maybe he wins at the Roval, and he gets some more playoff points to where he's actually in a really good position heading into Martinsville, and he doesn't even have to worry about a must win at Martinsville or even outpointing someone at Martinsville. So yeah, obviously the playoff points, it's going to be tight. Him, Blaney, Larson, even, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, those guys are going to be really tight on points entering this round if they're all in that round. So that's my biggest concern for Reddick, is that he's going to be in a tight points battle. But I think Homestead Miami Speedway is a very good opportunity for him to win. So yeah, I would say I think he can win that race and not even have to worry about Martinsville. And then the championship race is at Phoenix. And Reddick in the spring was really good. He finished 3rd in that race. I mean, he looked good in that race. Was up there at the front competing for the win at the end there. It's possible. Chevy's won the last 2 championship races there with Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Heck, Reddick would be the 3rd straight guy to make his first Final Four and also win in his first Final Four attempt. So that's very possible. It's going to be difficult for sure to beat someone like a Kyle Larson, like a Chase Elliott. And Ford looked so strong there in the spring. If Joey Logano gets in, if Ryan Blaney gets in, it's going to be tough to beat them too. But anything could happen. Top 3 could wipe out, and Reddick could just walk on through and get the championship. But I think Reddick actually has a pretty decent path to the championship 4. And then obviously, he looked really good there in the spring, so it's very possible. But to wrap it up, playoff points are important, as I say with everyone. First round, he should not be too concerned about. Even the second round, I think he should. I don't think it's too big of a concern. If you get caught up in something at Talladega, don't run as great as at Texas, then maybe. But you have the Roval in there, and Reddick's been great at road courses this year. Then you look at, what's it called? The third round. Homestead Miami Speedway is a great opportunity for Reddick to win. And then as for the championship race, who knows? And Reddick ran good there in the spring. Tomorrow will be Christopher Bell, his championship case. Going to pre-record that right now, actually, and then I will post it tomorrow. Got a very busy day tomorrow. Back going to classes, and everything's on 2 days a week, so that'll be fun. Trying to squeeze videos in there, but yeah, that's why I'm only doing one video a day in terms of the championship cases. Any news, I'll try to squeeze it in. I think I have like an hour gap on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but other than that, I will see how that all goes. But tomorrow, Christopher Bell championship case, I'll give that to you. But today, Tyler Reddick, let me know what you think of his championship chances. Do you think he can get it done? And we'll talk about that at a later time if he gets there. So yeah, thank you for watching this. Once again, I'm going to put this in the playlist with all the others, so go check that out. I got a playlist, a full playlist. It's up to 9 videos now of all the championship cases. We covered up the top, I mean, not 9 guys, obviously, but you know, if you're a Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, any of those guys, I've already covered them. So go check those out, and tomorrow we will talk about Christopher Bell.